I've got 7. Right, we'll call this meeting of the Freeman School Board to order. First item on the agenda is the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Next item on the agenda, roll call.
Emily.
Yes.
David. Yep. Doug. Yes. Carissa.
Yes.
Cody. Yes.
Next item on the agenda will require a motion to approve the amended agenda.
We had one addition to the agenda for J13. The school board will hold a discussion about changing the January 8th board meeting to an alternative date.
Are there any questions about the amendments to the agenda? If not, I will take a motion to approve the amended agenda. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Carissa. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Cody. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Next item on the agenda, conflict of interest disclosures.
Received none.
Next item on the agenda, public input.
There was none.
Next item on the agenda is consent agenda. Will require a motion to approve the following: the minutes of the regularly scheduled school board meeting of November 13th, 2023, the minutes of the core board cooperative meeting of November 15th, 2023, the minutes of the special board meeting of November 28th, 2023, the resignation of Jessie Allers according to the recommendation of the superintendent from the position of special needs program director, and we thank her for her service. The resignation of Lenora Moore from the position of paraprofessional, and we thank her for her service. The resignation of Craig Euchre from the position of custodian, and we thank him for his service. The conditions of employment for Chantel Van Wy for the position of paraprofessional for the remainder of the 2023-2024 school year, financial reports and claims. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Motion by David. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Doug. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Next item on the agenda, administrative reports. High school principal.
All right, there's a few things in there, but those are mostly, visual aids for you to look at, so I'm gonna do those. First, really nice job to our girls 9, our high school chorus and band, our senior class, our student body, our staff. Everybody did a really amazing job of putting on that concert and getting us through last week, and so we do appreciate all of that support that we had through the week last week. Congrats to Thor Onitson. He went to state oral interp. That was over in Harrisburg. He received a superior in both his humorous and his non-oratory original pieces, and he also got us the Team Excellence Award because we had 2 superiors, so that was great. And then we had some kids go out to FFA, so congratulations to Noah McGee, Emily Knodel, and to Claire Hofer. Claire was selected as a district officer. She is the president of our district, so she went out for some training, and then while Noah was out there, he placed first in state in Creed speaking, so he will go to nationals in the fall. And then Emily Knodel placed 3rd in extemporaneous speaking. So nice job to them. We had a Thanksgiving Blitz Day since last time. That was the Wednesday before Thanksgiving, where all K-12 students kind of get together and rotate through stations. And our elementary kids absolutely love it. Our high school kids, they do it, and they pretend not to enjoy it, I think. So that was great. And then 7/12, we had Humanity Launch here in the building. That's with Greg Talcott. That was on the 29th. That was the next Wednesday for the last half of the day. And our students really did do a fantastic job. They were at Marion in the morning, and then they came here, and our students had several compliments of how great they were during that time. And so I thought it was good. I think our students learned some things, and they're using those things, and we can keep following up with that. So we're doing our Holiday Eras tour. If you're a Swiftie fan, we do have some high schoolers that are, so we're plugging away with that. December 6th through the 21st, so today was Holiday Hair Day. And we just keep, spreading a little holiday cheer here. So you'll see that schedule attached there as well. The other thing that you'll see attached is the updated window vinyl. Last time you guys said, yep, your design looks great. So I actually had to reach out to Tab to ask her to help me with a little bit of a plane issue that we had, and then she's like, well, what are you doing? And I explained it, and so then she came up with this whole new design, and so it actually wasn't this one. So I took her design and the design that we saw before to the student council and I said, okay, what do you want to do? And they said, well, we like this and we like this, but we don't like this. So we put the 2 designs together to create this one. So this really is the official final design. And we were just waiting on weather. And also they were like ready to print. And I said, are you going to come and measure the windows? And they said, didn't you already? And I said, are you trusting my measurements? That's not what I do. You should probably come and measure. So they're going to come and measure and then wait for the winter to be over, or whatever. Maybe if we get some more nice days, they thought they could potentially get it done. So we'll see what happens there. So I just don't want to pay for something and then it be not measured exactly correct, right? Don't trust my measurements. That's not what I do. And then the semester test schedule is attached as well. That will take place in 3 days. So we're doing that over the course of 3 days, hopefully just to alleviate some stress and having, hard tests back to back or things like that, to give them a little bit more time to study in between. And so when you look at that schedule, all of the gray is normal class periods, and then all of the yellow and the red is semester test time. So there's just 2 tests the first day, 2 tests the second, and then we'll do 3 on the last day. We do have open campus for all 7 through 12 kids during semester test, as long as they have met all of the guidelines for that to happen, but they don't have to utilize that. We provide a space for them if they choose not to. So that is attached as well. I'll go over that with all students tomorrow. And then our first group of seniors, they're going to be presenting their senior projects on Monday, December 18th. So that schedule is attached on there as well. You can kind of see what the student is, what the topic is, who their staff mentor was, who their community mentor was, and then the seniors means that those seniors are going to go to those presentations, and then we also have scheduled for juniors to go and watch as well, so that way they can kind of see what kids are doing and have an idea of what to do when they become a senior. So that'll be our first half. The second half will be in the spring because we split that class into 2 this year. So that's it. That's all I have.
Great. Thanks, Katie. Superintendent administrative report.
EMC is the company that insures our building, and they were on site about a month ago and did a walkthrough, checking everything out. And the only thing that they came back to us on is they said that we do not have a formal roof management program in place, and they encouraged us to do so. In your packet, you'll see the handout from EMC that highlights that information on the first page. Second page would be the response that I need to fill in to our action plan for when we plan to comply with this, and then submit that, and then we would need to follow through with that compliance. And then the final sheet in your packet is the 4 roof maintenance tips that they recommend as well. So I plan on communicating with the Facilities and Grounds Committee and determining when we would like to set for a date for this, and then our business managers on when we would like to finance for that or budget for that. We have advertised for a full-time custodian and an administrative assistant. That is advertised in the area-wide and the courier. Both these positions are open until filled, so the timeline for filling these positions will be determined by the pool of applicants that we receive. We have 3 additional In God We Trust signs that will be added, 1 to the elementary and 1 at each of our colony schools. This is part of the accreditation requirements that we learned that we were supposed to have 1 at all 3 sites, so we've rectified that, and those will be hung up hopefully by the end of this week. The fundraiser executive committee met with SPN on November 30th, and we have requested that we have new drawings of the softball, youth baseball complex, and an updated estimate for that. And then once we have those in our possession, the committee will begin fundraising efforts. And the final item I have is actually from the business managers, that there's a food service funding potential loss that we want to make sure that the board is aware of. So I'll turn it over to them.
Want me to take it here? We've got a notification that the federal funding is going to be eliminated. Some of it, we're not just sure how much. My understanding is it's on all paid lunches. We have always in the past gotten 40 cents on every meal that was served to the students, 40 cents. And then when you got extra for the free and more, a little more for the reduced and a bunch more for the free. Now, I don't know if that's gonna be across all three categories, the 40 cents is gonna get eliminated out of there, or if it's just gonna be on the full price ones. I tried to get that information from the DOE, and they referred me on to Cans, and she said, oh, we'll discuss it when we get there next week. Well, I wanted it for tonight, but anyway, just to clarify it, the potential, last year I took all the paid meals that you guys had, and it looked like you could potentially get cut $46,000 from food service. So what funds you may have in the food service, that looks like you've got an excess right now, and we were looking at equipment purchases, you might not have that next year at the end of the year.
Sure.
And it looks like it's gonna get cut now. There was like 1.8 million less meals served in the state of South Dakota. So the feds decided not to give South Dakota as much money. I went, thank you very much. So how bad it's gonna impact us all, this could change. I'm sure Christie's out there trying to get us more money, but you know, not liking that we got cut, but that's neither here nor there. When they said they're gonna cut it, they're gonna cut it. So that's what we were given a heads up here last week regarding that. So I just tried to give a potential. Right now, we're at just the meals we've served so far, we're at $18,000 cut if they cut out the 40 cents across the board. Hopefully it won't be.
It's retroactive to the beginning of the year?
They said in that letter to us that there are going to be some schools that may not even get any further reimbursement the rest of this year because of what's already been reimbursed to us in the month of August, September, and October. Those claims have already come through and we got our reimbursement. So some of those schools, because of those high paid meals that they maybe have, may not get anything more for the rest of the year. I went, well, I don't think that's going to be our problem at this point, but it depends on how severely they're cutting it. You know, but I just wanted to give you a heads up. I was hoping to have more defined and definite for you, but we will have that next week. So in January, she can update what happens there.
Sounds good. Thank you. Is that it? Okay. Sounds good. Next item on the agenda, unfinished business, there's none. Next item on the agenda, new business. The school board will perform the 6-month review of the 2023-2024 Safe Return to In-Person Learning and Continuity Plan.
Thought we were done with this. The state had communicated that this summer was the last time we had to do it, but then the feds said, nope, the ESSER 3 grant dollars are through this next year, so we have to continue to review and update our plan. It's the same plan that we had last time. There's no need for any additions. So I'm not sure if we have to approve it in May for the last few months, or if this will be the last one. We'll find out when we get to that point. But
There's no changes that were made since the last time. No, I didn't see any. Anybody have any discussion or thoughts? If not, I'll move on to the next item on the agenda, which is the school board will allow public comment of the Safe Return to In-Person Learning and Continuity Plan.
We don't have any.
All right, good. Okay. Moving right along. If there's no further discussion, we'll require a motion to approve the Safe Return to In-Person Learning and Continuity Plan. Do I have a motion?
motion to approve.
Motion by Doug. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Cody. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Next item on the agenda, the school board will hear an update from the Policy Review Committee. Take it away.
Oh, you're not gonna take it? Jake presented us a few policies to review and implement. Most seemed like they were kind of, not much discussion needed and fairly mandatory. About, school admissions, entrance age, when kids have to come to school, how long we have to stay. Don't think we have much of a choice other than to approve.
First one that's listed on the agenda, that was for the food services audit. That we wanted to make sure that we had that one in place before they come in next week. And then the other three had to do with the accreditation process as well. Wanted to make sure that we have those in place as well. Not sure if they're gonna look for those or need those, but we figured it might as well be err on the side of caution for those. And that is why this is a viewing and approval.
Okay, that's what that was maybe.
Get them in place right away.
Any questions or further discussion? If not, I will require a motion to approve the following school district policies: FS, procurement; JEA, compulsory attendance ages; JEB, entrance age; and JEC, school admissions. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Cody, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Carissa. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Next time on the agenda, the school board will hear an update about the delegate assembly meeting.
Yeah, I'm assuming it was pretty normal. I've never been before. I had a nice drive to Pier. We voted on a bunch of legislation. All that's public. You can see what was amended, what was changed, what was done away with. It's all on ASBASD.com under documents. But yeah, nothing too out of the ordinary. It was really educational for me because, you know, it's kind of a unique situation, but I enjoyed it. It was a nice day for a drive and met some nice people there, so, yeah. Any more questions, you go online.
Thanks for going.
Yeah.
All right, next time on the agenda, the school board will hold a discussion about the allocation of a donation.
Yes, in your packet, I have a copy of the donation that we received from the Blackwell Giving Fund. Has the check, and on the back side, you can see where that donation came from. It's a dollar figure of $986.05. So the board would have to decide where we want to allocate those dollars to. An idea that has been thrown out there with the high school doing the window tint on the front of the junior, senior high school entrance, that we could allocate those funds to have something done similar on the elementary side of the building, so if both sides of the building match. That'd be up for discussion for the board, or if the board had any other ideas on how we could utilize those funds.
I like the idea of doing the matching entrance.
I do too. I don't have any other ideas.
Use it for roof inspection.
That doesn't seem nearly as fun, Doug.
It doesn't.
Huh?
Sounds good to me.
Cody, any thoughts?
None.
Okay. Do we need to vote on that, or just?
We certainly could, if we could add a
Yeah.
amendment or add a.
Yeah, I think we should.
A motion.
Item. Okay. If there's no further discussion, I will require a motion to approve the allocation of aforementioned donation towards the purchase of a similar vinyl entrance.
So moved.
Motion by Carissa. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Cody. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Next item on the agenda, the school board will discuss the continuous school improvement strategic plan.
I was very proud of a committee that we put together that consisted of teachers, students, parent rep, school board member, and administration. What you see in your packet is the result of us meeting on 5 different occasions to talk through what we wanted to include in our continuous school improvement and our strategic plan. In the first few pages, it just talks about the district at a glance, and if anybody from the public would like to see this, it is linked on the agenda for tonight's meeting. Getting into the Freeman School District with some of our goals, some of our areas of strength. And then progressing further through the plan into page 5 is one I like to look at with our district student staff demographics, particularly our enrollment projections. The bottom box is very interesting to look at. So if you go from year to year, looking at our student growth from 2018 to through a child count of last year, and you factor how much growth from year to year and then average that over the course of those years, it comes out that we have had an average growth of 5.28 students per year. So if we take that growth and continue to add it, that equates to the growth projections, or not total students. That's a average annual growth, so that's a percentage. So if you take that percentage into each year's enrollment and continue that for the next few years, you can see what our growth projections are, and that's pretty interesting to look at. Reason for that being an important thing to include in this is as we develop a strategic plan and as we look at needs of the district, enrollment is one of the huge things that we need to consider with class sizes and what we need for allocation of teachers to accommodate our increased growth. So fun page to look at on page 5. Progressing through the plan, we start getting into some district report cards items on page 6. And then in page 7, just starting to talk about what our district needs are. Leading into page 8 and 9 and 8 through page 12 would be the district goals, and I'm going to turn it over to Katie, and she's going to talk a little bit about how we put together numbers and what those numbers looked like, and ultimately how the staff determined what goals we wanted to set for academic goals, that is, that we wanted to set for the district for this year.
So when we look at the Freeman High School or the elementary, it doesn't really matter which one you look at. It's a little less specific in the high school just because the courses are not always consistent. But we do have a goal for language, reading, and math, which is what we take our MAP test on. And so what we're looking for is growth in those subject areas, regardless of what tests they're taking, right? So whether they're in geometry, algebra 2, trigonometry, we're still looking for growth in math, reading, and language. So for the high school and for the elementary, how we got to these growth goals was we looked at the previous growth in which we have had for these groups of students. If you look on the elementary side, you'll notice that the growth is much higher in your kindergarten years, and it decreases as you get older, and that is exactly the trend in which we see because they're just learning so much in kindergarten and as they progress through the MAP test. The thing about MAP is that if a kindergartner takes it and they have a score, and a senior takes it and they have a score, those scores are comparable as long as it's the same test that they're taking. So the language would be a good one. So you can kind of see how that goes. So we looked at the previous growth that we've seen, and then we set goals based on how we think students, the amount of growth that students should be having in those 3 areas. Those 3 areas are also our tested areas for Smarter Balance, so that will also help. If we're focusing on MAP and having growth there, then we should also see growth in our Smarter Balance scores as well, which is what the state is looking for. What questions do you have about that? I think really one of the things about this plan is just trying to be a little bit more diligent about looking over data and determining where we are maybe lacking, and then trying to boost those areas so that way overall we can boost scores with our students and knowledge of what maybe we're missing. If there's a standard that maybe is always not doing well, then maybe we need to focus on that standard as a district or things like that. So this just kind of helps us get there a little bit more, I think.
Well, it's more individualistic when it's based on growth instead of an arbitrary achievement
Yeah,
level.
or just saying proficient, right? Because some kids, they will not be able to meet proficiency. But if they're continuing to grow, then that means that they're learning regardless if they'll ever be proficient, right? Sometimes they're just, that's not realistic for them, but growth is what we want to see.
Right.
And as we progress through the plan, page 13, then we get into the interventions and strategies, things that we have implemented over the course of the last few years that are designed to help us to reach the goals that were set for the year, things like the ICU database, working lunch, success hour, that's an after-school, voluntary after-school program for our junior, senior high school kids, dial screenings, trying to get kids in early. Transitions is the next section there, is how we transition kids into the building, how we transition kids from one side of the building to the other side of the building, through those monumental years that are really important. And then page 15, we take a shift into more of the strategic planning side of things and looking at our facilities and our needs, programming needs, things like that for the next 5 years out. So as you can see, it's quite a few more needs early on with 23, 24, having a number of items, 24, 25, fairly significant amount of items, and then it kind of trims down a little bit as we get further out, just because, you know, you target things that are further out, but other smaller items that are showing up right now. For example, the urinal dividers in our bathroom here at the junior senior high school. That's something that's not a huge item, but it's something that, you know, those things have a tendency to present itself when you're more in the moment. So we're anticipating, as we build this out year after year, we're going to be adding things as we get closer to the 5-year mark and 4-year mark. We'll be adding different things from year to year.
Sure.
It gives us a plan. It is just that, it's a plan. So there may have circumstances where we're not able to work in all the items from that year, and then we may need to reevaluate the plan and push certain items further down the road. We may have emergencies that come up too, so there may be things that are adjusted with this plan. But it is a guide. It's something that is good to have in place so we can have some sort of a vision for how we're going to try to utilize our dollars moving forward for the next 5 years. And then the plan finishes with a professional development plan. The principals and I at cabinet this morning went through this plan and made sure it represented what our goals are to meet within this plan, but also some of the things that we have currently in place with our Flex PD option that we have for staff as well. That's highlighted in this plan. Any questions on the continuous school improvement plan as a whole?
So this will kind of be, I mean, as we look forward, more of like a living document that'll have to be updated from time to time, and then we'll come back here and chat about any changes, correct?
Correct, yes, and it has in the
Part of the vision of that.
part of the plan is each year, the Continuous School Improvement Committee will get back together. We'll talk about, you know, what our data was, set goals for the next year, and then reevaluate the plan on an annual basis.
Okay. Sounds great. I know a ton of work went into this. This looks awesome though.
Yeah. I was very pleased with the work that our staff did.
Any other comments, questions from anyone else? Any further discussion? If there's no further discussion, we'll require a motion to approve the continuous school improvement strategic plan. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Carissa. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Doug. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Next item on the agenda, the school board will discuss the addition of an assistant coach for the 2024 softball season.
So we had our Phoenix Co-op meeting a couple weeks ago, and one of the things that Amber had presented was the numbers are very, very strong in our softball program, and it's very challenging when you have numbers that big for 2 coaches to be able to space kids out, and, you know, softball's potential for some pretty, you know, pretty big injuries can take place if you're got too many people in one confined area. So being able to have an additional coach just to be able to spread out, get the girls separated, and make sure that we're safe with all of our drills was one of the requests that she had. And the advisory committee felt that that was worthy of pushing that forward to each of the board members or each of the boards. So each board will vote separately if they would like to approve the hiring of an additional assistant coach for the 2024 softball season. So that'd be just for this year. After this year, we'd reevaluate the numbers and see if it'd be something that'd be necessary for the future.
Yeah, I think it makes a lot of sense. And safety obviously has to be our top priority. Any thoughts from anybody else?
We have the numbers and we definitely have the varied skill level, so.
Right. Any additional thoughts? Everybody's so quiet tonight. All right, if there's no further discussion, we'll require a motion to approve the hiring of an additional assistant coach for the 2024 softball season. Do I have a motion? Motion by David. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Doug. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Next item on the agenda, the school board president will appoint a board member to the ASBSD legislative action network. Oh boy, does anybody have a burning desire? I can't remember who this person was last year.
I think Doug. Sorry, Doug.
Can we know what that is?
I know an excellent way you can find out.
I will trade you for a puppy.
Yeah, it's not so bad at
You
all.
really seem to enjoy Pierre, I mean.
You'd say it was a nice job.
I can do it again, it's fine.
You're okay with that?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, we'll appoint Doug as the board member for the ASBSD Legislative Action Network. All right, next time on the agenda, the school board will hold a discussion about changing the January 8th board meeting to an alternative date. Calendar. I don't even think I have.
Board meeting following this early, it's hard to get all the bills in and get everything taken care of. It's possible. If there's not an alternative date, then we can still roll with that January 8th date. We just probably would not get all the information out to the board with the packet until Friday, or maybe some additional information wouldn't get sent out until Monday. The 10th seems like that would be the best option outside of the 8th.
I'm fine with the 10th.
I'm fine with the 10th, there's no basketball.
I won't be here, but I'm fine with you guys doing it.
We'll proceed boldly without you.
I don't know what's going on tomorrow.
I'll pencil us in for the 10th then.
Sure.
That work for you, David?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right. Do we need a motion for that? Okay. Then I will need a motion to change the originally scheduled board meeting for January 8th to January 10th, 2024 at 7 PM. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Carissa. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Cody. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is executive session. Will require a motion to enter executive session for the purpose of South Dakota Codified Law 1-25-2, parentheses 1. Do I have a motion?
Yeah, so moved.
Motion by Doug. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Carissa. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries in executive session, 7:34 PM. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, public.
Yeah, thank you, public.
The bonus checks will be going out on the 19th to the staff, and we are now emailing their